Hello, welcome to my shop. Earlier today, I received a request from a fellow woodworker and a good friend of mine, Laney Shaughnessy, to produce a video. That video is how to make one of these tenoning tools. Now, a little bit of background. This is not my idea. I first learned about these tools from Captain Eddie Caslin from watching his videos. But if you're a pin turner, occasionally you'll need to cut a tenon on a pin to be able to glue a chrome ring onto that pin, or a chrome trim ring. And those tenons, you can cut them with a parting tool or a Badan tool, but the problem is if you overshoot the tenon and make it too small, your chrome ring will not fit properly on the pin. And that's where Captain Eddie's idea comes in handy. Basically, the pin I like to turn the most is called the Classic. And the Classic requires a 10mm tenon be cut on the back half of the pin to glue a chrome trim ring onto the pin. And I have this 10mm wrench, and what I did is I took the wrench. Let me grab a regular wrench. Here's a 12mm, and you can see I have cut the back end, or ground the back end, this part of the wrench off. It's fairly easy to do, and I'm going to take a couple of minutes and I'm going to explain the process to you. Now, before you start making your tenon tool, the first thing you're going to want to do is take a set of calipers and measure the inside of your chrome ring. On the Classic pin that I purchased from Penn State, I did that, and the inside diameter was 10mm. Basically, I picked up a 10mm wrench, open-end wrench, and the way you do this, I like to take a permanent marker, and if you look at the wrench, you've got I'm going to call this the top part of the wrench. It's the longer arm, and here's the bottom part. You're going to take the bottom part, and we're basically going to grind off. I like to mark it with a permanent marker so I know how far to grind. But you can kind of see, I'm going to try to get that up close. The light's not that great. There we go. Let me turn it a little bit. You can see how I kind of angled that off. You just want to come down and just take a little bit of about a, not really 45, but just take a little bit of an angle. What we're going to do is put this on a grinder, and then we'll just lay it up on the grinder and turn it, kind of rotate it in just a little bit, and slowly grind that down to a point. All right, I'm at the grinder, and basically I'm going to just turn the grinder on, and I'm going to roll this wrench along the wheel until I get the angle that I want. Let's go. And really, that's all there is to it. You can see now, this is the 10mm. Essentially, I just sharpened my tenon tool, but I just roll it a couple of times, and you get a nice sharp edge there. You can feel the edge. You can feel that it's sharp, and this tool is now ready to start cutting tenons. Don't try to use this to take a bolt off or put a bolt on, because it's not going to have the grip you need, but it will work perfectly for cutting tenons. So you definitely want to make sure that you don't use your good tools for this. Now that we've made our tool, let's take it to the lathe and let's see just what kind of a job it'll do and what kind of a tenon it'll cut. The first thing you want to do is take your trim ring and hold it up to your blank and draw a line just how far back on the blank you want to cut your tenon. To use the tenoning tool, what I'll do is I'll spin my lathe probably about 12 to 1500 RPMs. I've got my tool rest pulled back away from the pin and actually low to the point where it's probably almost to the bottom of the blank. I'm going to take the tool, the edge that I ground off will be the top. I'm going to put it on the tool rest, let it rest against the tool rest, and I'm going to take it into the blank and slowly press up to the line that I drew. And as I press in, you don't want to go in there and make a real aggressive move and just jam it in there. You want to go a little bit at a time and just sort of take off a little bit of wood at a time. And what will happen is when it gets to 10mm, it's going to slip right onto the blank. Once it slips onto the blank, you're done. Now remember, always keep your tool against the tool rest and always press up on the bottom. So your tool is against the tool rest, you're pressing up and pushing in. That's going to give you a perfect tenon every time. Lathe is set at 1500 RPMs. The tool is against the tool rest. I'm pressing up and going forward, taking a little bit at a time. Right up to the pencil line. And there we go, it just went on. That part of the tenon is perfect. Here comes the back half. Now I'm going to go right up against my line here. And I'm just going to make sure I give a nice flat surface. There we go, a nice flat surface right here so that the trim ring will fit flush against the pin. So we now have a perfect 10mm tenon. Alright, let's go ahead and pull our blank off the lathe and test our tenon. And here's the trim ring. It goes right on. Perfect fit. One drop of super glue and that trim ring will not come off. We have cut a perfect 10mm tenon. I do want to make one correction. Earlier in the video, when I was cutting the tenon, I said you just want to push up, which would lead you to think that you're going to push up when you go into the pin. I should have said you push down as you move in toward the pin. And the reason why, by pushing down, you want the bottom to be firmly against the bottom of your pin. That way when you cut into your tenon, it's going to slide right, or you cut into your pin blank, it's going to slide right on. If you have it, if you're pressing up or you're sloppy, it's going to dig in and cut a sloppy tenon. This tool works exceptionally well. I don't know how many pins I've cut with it. That's the first time I've sharpened it since I made it, and I'm still cutting pins. It does a great job. I believe I picked this up at a rummage sale for $1, so keep your eye out at rummage sales and flea markets and pick up a few wrenches when you see them real cheap. Make yourself a couple of tools, different sizes, whatever size tenons you need, and you'll have one more tool in your arsenal to help you make perfect tenons every single time. I'd like to say thank you for joining me. I hope this video is beneficial to you, and if there's something you're interested in seeing or learning about, shoot me a note or add a comment and I'll try to do a video on that. Thanks a lot for watching.